Today in Lesson 24, Sanctifying Grace, Living a Double Life, Sheen has systematically for the last 24 lessons brought us to this point, in where he introduces the word grace, the concept of grace. His opening little analogy of the tadpoles. He said, when one tadpole says to the other little tadpole, I'm going to lift my head above to see if there's anything out there other than water. And the little other tadpole says, don't be stupid. There's only what we know, just water. I think of that little story and how accurate it is. Because most of us are like the tadpole, who just experiences a world, and that is the world that all he knows. Sheen gives us this concept of living in the natural and living in the supernatural, the two dimensions of our reality. For most of us, we experience life in the natural. He speaks about the natural in the scenario of a microphone. If a microphone has its nature, but imagine a microphone blooming. And then he speaks about a rose. And he says, a rose has its nature, but imagine the rose walking. And finally, he speaks about a dog. And he says, imagine a dog being elevated to the level of reason that he talks. And he talks about what would make the change between the natural and the supernatural, that there would have to be an ingredient added, as it were. He speaks about this idea of humanity living in the confines of a building or house, and there's three levels: the basement and the first floor and the second floor. The basement being living in the realm of the emotions. The first floor living in the realm of the intellect. And the third floor, when the intellect is elevated where the will is elevated by grace. Well, what is that? What is grace? So he introduces grace to us as that it is a gift. It is something that once brought into the natural, it becomes supernatural. For many of us, it's a hard concept because we haven't experienced it. We're like maybe a little child whose father has given us a train set. And we have this little train set, and we've opened up the box, and we've seen the parts and the pieces. And those of us that can move beyond the emotions of the excitement begin to look at the instructions and begin to put it together through our reason. But then we think that's it. A train and a track, until the Father then sits down with us. And he says, child, here, plug it into this. And the Father holds the hand of the little boy, and he plugs it in to the power. And all of a sudden, with the hand of the Father on the hand of the Son, the train set turns on. And now the train is doing something where it couldn't have done before. You see, this is what grace does. When we allow God the Father to instill within us, to teach us where to plug in, when his Son becomes the power that is living within us, we're no longer a train without power. We're now a train on a track. God love you.